arbitrary, arbitrary, arbitrarily, arbitrarily, paralyze, paralyze, probe, probe, affluent, affluent, affluence, affluence, embody, embody, allot, allot, allotment, allotment, allotted, allotted, blush, blush,
resort, resort,
heyday, heyday, browse, browse, allege, allege, allegation, allegation, alleged, alleged, vogue, vogue, voguish, voguish, thermal, thermal,
surmise, surmise,
cluster, cluster, delude, delude, delusion, delusion, delusive, delusive, immune, immune, immunity, immunity, immunize, immunize, strenuous, strenuous, recipient, recipient, inaugurate, inaugurate, inaugural, inaugural, inauguration, inauguration, irrelevant, irrelevant, condense, condense, kindle, kindle, gulf, gulf, rechargeable, rechargeable, twofold, twofold, threefold, threefold, vitamin, vitamin, vital, vital, vitality, vitality, revive, revive,
revive, revive,
revival, revival, survive, survive,
survive, survive,
survival, survival, survivor, survivor, vivid, vivid, vividly, vividly, momentous, momentous, moment, moment,
An arbitrary measure. An arbitrary measure. The arbitrary powers of officials. The arbitrary powers of officials. An arbitrary decision. An arbitrary decision. In arbitrary order. In arbitrary order. Arbitrary signs. Arbitrary signs. An arbitrary division. An arbitrary division. An arbitrary ruler. An arbitrary ruler. An arbitrary government. An arbitrary government. Make an arbitrary decision. Make an arbitrary decision. Interpret the law arbitrarily. Interpret the law arbitrarily. Business decide arbitrarily rule. Business decide arbitrarily rule. Be paralyzed in both legs. Be paralyzed in both legs. Practically paralyze one's effort. Practically paralyze one's effort. Paralyze the activity. Paralyze the activity. A strike that paralyzes traffic. A strike that paralyzes traffic. Space probe. Space probe. Launch lunar probe. Launch lunar probe. DNA probe. DNA probe. Plunge a probe. Plunge a probe. Probe space with radio telescope. Probe space with radio telescope. Probe a matter to the bottom. Probe a matter to the bottom. Probe a person's thoughts. Probe a person's thoughts. Probe into the causes of the landslide. Probe into the causes of the landslide. Probe for answers. Probe for answers. Probe at a person's secrets. Probe at a person's secrets. Affluent Western countries. Affluent Western countries. Affluent society. Affluent society. A very affluent neighborhood. A very affluent neighborhood. Live an affluent life. Live an affluent life. In affluent circumstances. In affluent circumstances. A land affluent in minerals. A land affluent in minerals. Live in affluence. Live in affluence. Enjoy material affluence. Enjoy material affluence. Affluence of words. Affluence of words. An affluence of tourists. An affluence of tourists. Embody goodwill. Embody goodwill. Embody one's idea in a speech. Embody one's idea in a speech. Man is an embodied spirit. Man is an embodied spirit. Embody the latest improvements. Embody the latest improvements. Embody democratic ideas in the speech. Embody democratic ideas in the speech. The book embodies all the rules. The book embodies all the rules. Allot shares. Allot shares. Allot money for a new school. Allot money for a new school. Our allotted portion in life. Our allotted portion in life. Allot new stocks. Allot new stocks. Allot a role. Allot a role. Allot shares to persons. Allot shares to persons. Allot money for investigation. Allot money for investigation. Allot a fixed quantity. Allot a fixed quantity. Allocate a fixed quantity. Allocate a fixed quantity. Allot birth. Allot birth. Allot diplomas. Allot diplomas. Allotment sheet. Allotment sheet. Assign allotment money. Assign allotment money. An allotment garden. An allotment garden. Land for allotment sales. Land for allotment sales. A personnel allotment table. A personnel allotment table. Allotted work. Allotted work.
Assigned work. Assigned work. An allotted task. An allotted task. Overrun one's allotted time. Overrun one's allotted time. An allotted position. An allotted position. The time allotted to sleep. The time allotted to sleep. Sit down in their allotted places. Sit down in their allotted places. Marks allotted for the subject. Marks allotted for the subject. With a blush. With a blush. Blush for bashfulness. blush for bashfulness, blush with joy, blush with joy, blush for joy, blush for joy, blush at one's words, blush at one's words, blush for shame, blush for shame, blush with shame, blush with shame, put a person to the blush, put a person to the blush, spare my blushes, spare my blushes, the blush of youth, the blush of youth, at first blush, at first blush, at the first blush, at the first blush, blush go red, blush go red, seaside resorts, seaside resorts, a winter resort, a winter resort, a popular holiday resort, a popular holiday resort, a pleasure resort, a pleasure resort, a resort of thieves, a resort of thieves, the last resort, the last resort, the only resort, the only resort, have resort to force, have resort to force. Make resort to force, make resort to force, resort to force, resort to force, resort to law, resort to law, resort to extreme measures, resort to extreme measures, a beach to which many people resort, a beach to which many people resort, resort to war, resort to war, resort to cheap tricks, resort to cheap tricks, resort to petty tricks, resort to petty tricks, resort to wiles, resort to wiles, a resort hotel, a resort hotel, in the heyday of youth, in the heyday of youth, in one's heyday, in one's heyday, the heyday of the silent movies, the heyday of the silent movies, in the heyday of the bicyclist, in the heyday of the bicyclist, have one's heyday, have one's heyday, browse the internet, browse the internet, surf the net, surf the net, browse the net, browse the net, browse through a magazine, browse through a magazine, browse in the pages of a book, browse in the pages of a book, browse cattle on twigs, browse cattle on twigs, cattle at browse, cattle at browse, be at browse, be at browse, allege illness, allege illness, allege innocence, allege innocence, allege a matter as a fact, allege a matter as a fact, allege a fact, allege a fact,
Allege reaction, allege reaction, a totally unfounded allegation, a totally unfounded allegation, a false allegation, a false allegation, a vague allegation, a vague allegation, to investigate an allegation, to investigate an allegation, deny an allegation, deny an allegation, make an allegation, make an allegation, rebut an allegation, rebut an allegation, refute an allegation, refute an allegation, reject an allegation, reject an allegation, an unproved allegation, an unproved allegation, substantiate an allegation, substantiate an allegation, retract an allegation, retract an allegation, drop an allegation, drop an allegation, withdraw an allegation, withdraw an allegation, a serious allegation, a serious allegation, allegations of dishonesty against him, allegations of dishonesty against him, investigate alleged corruption, investigate alleged corruption, the alleged murderer, the alleged murderer, an alleged criminal, an alleged criminal, the alleged thief, the alleged thief, an alleged miracle, an alleged miracle, right alleged or recognized, right alleged or recognized, vogue word, a vogue phrase, a vogue phrase, bring into vogue, bring into vogue, come into vogue, come into vogue, be in vogue, be in vogue, have a vogue, have a vogue, be out of vogue, be out of vogue, a mere passing vogue, a mere passing vogue, come into vogue, come into vogue, the latest vogue, the latest vogue, the vogue of short shirts, the vogue of short shirts, a style in vogue many years ago, a style in vogue many years ago, have a short vogue, have a short vogue, go out of vogue, go out of vogue, thermal energy, thermal energy, thermal expansivity, thermal expansivity, thermal spring, thermal spring, thermal waters, thermal waters, thermal barrier, thermal barrier, thermal agitation, thermal agitation, thermal efficiency, thermal efficiency, thermal equilibrium, thermal equilibrium, thermal underwear, thermal underwear, thermal conductivity, thermal conductivity, a thermal power station, a thermal power station, thermal regions, thermal regions, a thermal bath, a thermal bath. I surmised that his business had come to a standstill. I surmised that his business had come to a standstill. This is pure surmise on my part. This is pure surmise on my part. A consonant cluster, a consonant cluster, a leukemia cluster, a leukemia cluster,
Star cluster. Star cluster. A cluster of grapes. A cluster of grapes. A cluster of bees. A cluster of bees. A cluster of spectators. A cluster of spectators. A cluster of bananas. A cluster of bananas. A cluster bomb. A cluster bomb. Oak leaf cluster. Oak leaf cluster. She deluded herself with empty dreams. She deluded herself with empty dreams. You must not delude him into believing it. You must not delude him into believing it. Self-delusion. Self-delusion. The delusions of the mentally ill. The delusions of the mentally ill. Nurse delusion. Nurse delusion. A delusion of persecution. A delusion of persecution. A delusion of grandeur. A delusion of grandeur. Be obsessed by delusions. Be obsessed by delusions. Awake from a delusion. Awake from a delusion. Be under a delusion. Be under a delusion. Cherish a delusion. Cherish a delusion. Fall into expansive delusion. Fall into expansive delusion. Delusive figures. Delusive figures. A delusive notion. A delusive notion. Immune system. Immune system. Immune response. Immune response. Immune reaction. Immune reaction. Make immune. Make immune. Make a person immune. Make a person immune. Immune to new ideas. Immune to new ideas. Immune complex. Immune complex. Immune from punishment. Immune from punishment. Immune to malaria. Immune to malaria. Be immune from taxation. Be immune from taxation. Be immune against attack. Be immune against attack. Be immune from smallpox. Be immune from smallpox. Become immune. Become immune. Be immune. Be immune. Diplomatic immunity. Diplomatic immunity. Immunity to infection. Immunity to infection. Parliamentary immunity. Parliamentary immunity. Confer immunity. Confer immunity. Gain immunity. Gain immunity. Secure immunity. Secure immunity. Give immunity. Give immunity. Children are routinely immunized against polio. Children are routinely immunized against polio. A strenuous climb. A strenuous climb. Do strenuous exercise. Do strenuous exercise. Strenuous opposition. Strenuous opposition. A strenuous imagination. A strenuous imagination. A strenuous job. A strenuous job. A strenuous person. A strenuous person. A strenuous scientist. A strenuous scientist. Make strenuous efforts. Make strenuous efforts. Award recipient. Award recipient. A worthy recipient. A worthy recipient. Recipients of awards. Recipients of awards.
Universal recipient. Universal recipient. An aid recipient country. An aid recipient country. A degree recipient. A degree recipient. An honorary degree recipient. An honorary degree recipient. Inaugurate a president. Inaugurate a president. Inaugurate a monument. Inaugurate a monument. Be inaugurated as president. Be inaugurated as president. Inaugurate a building. Inaugurate a building. Inaugurate a new era. Inaugurate a new era. Inaugurate a conference. Inaugurate a conference. Inaugurate a new scheme. Inaugurate a new scheme. Inaugural address. Inaugural address. An inaugural speech. An inaugural speech. An inaugural assembly. An inaugural assembly. Make an inaugural address. Make an inaugural address. The President's inaugural address. The President's inaugural address. An inaugural ceremony. An inaugural ceremony. An inaugural parade. An inaugural parade. Hold an inaugural ceremony. Hold an inaugural ceremony. An inauguration speech. An inauguration speech. The inauguration of an exhibition. The inauguration of an exhibition. Have an inauguration. Have an inauguration. Hold an inauguration. Hold an inauguration. The presidential inauguration. The presidential inauguration. Irrelevant remarks. Irrelevant remarks. Make irrelevant remarks. Make irrelevant remarks. Ask an irrelevant question. Ask an irrelevant question. Totally irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. An irrelevant matter. An irrelevant matter. Irrelevant answers. Irrelevant answers. Condense a gas to a liquid. Condense a gas to a liquid. Condense this paragraph into a few sentences. Condense this paragraph into a few sentences. Condense a sentence. Condense a sentence. Condense milk. Condense milk. Condense rays of light on an object. Condense rays of light on an object. A condensing lens. A condensing lens. Kindle a lamp. Kindle a lamp. Kindle the sky. Kindle the sky. To kindle a flame. To kindle a flame. To kindle a twig with a match. To kindle a twig with a match. To kindle anger in a person. To kindle anger in a person. To kindle a person's emotions. To kindle a person's emotions. To kindle an audience. To kindle an audience. To kindle a person with passion. To kindle a person with passion. To kindle a person to do something. To kindle a person to do something. To kindle at an insult. To kindle at an insult. The Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico. Gulf Stream. Gulf Stream. A great gulf fixed. A great gulf fixed. The gulf between rich and poor. The gulf between rich and poor. A wide gulf of separation. A wide gulf of separation. Form a gulf. Form a gulf. Form a bay. Form a bay. A rechargeable batteries. A rechargeable batteries. A rechargeable shaver. A rechargeable shaver. Rechargeable battery pack. Rechargeable battery pack. Increase twofold. Increase twofold. A twofold increase in demand. A twofold increase in demand. Fill a dual purpose. Fill a dual purpose. Fill a twofold purpose. Fill a twofold purpose. A threefold choice. A threefold choice. Threefold meaning. Threefold meaning. vitamin pills, vitamin pills, vitamin deficiency, vitamin deficiency, a vitamin tablet, a vitamin tablet, vital statistics, vital statistics, a vital necessity, a vital necessity, a vital part of the scheme, a vital part of the scheme, vital phenomena, vital phenomena, a vital style, a vital style, vital food, vital food, a vital wound, a vital wound, a vital spot, a vital spot, tear the vitals out of a subject, tear the vitals out of a subject, full vitality, full vitality, lack vitality, lack vitality, the vitality of slang, the vitality of slang, reduce vitality, reduce vitality, tenacious vitality, tenacious vitality, show indomitable vitality, show indomitable vitality, revive a tradition, revive a tradition, revive local economy, revive local economy, revive from suspended animation, revive from suspended animation, revive from a swoon, revive from a swoon, a fashion that has revived, a fashion that has revived, revive a subject of discussion, revive a subject of discussion, revive old quarrels, revive old quarrels, revive an old play, revive an old play, revive a memory, revive a memory, revive a play, revive a play, revive diplomatic relations, revive diplomatic relations, the revival of trade, the revival of trade, a religious revival, a religious revival, an economic revival, an economic revival, the revival of trade, the revival of trade, work for economic revival, work for economic revival, trade revival, trade revival, the revival of ancient customs, the revival of ancient customs,
The revival of letters. The revival of letters. A revival meeting. A revival meeting. Barely survive. Barely survive. Compete to survive. Compete to survive. Survive to the last. Survive to the last. Survive by good luck. Survive by good luck. Survive one's children. Survive one's children. Survive all perils. Survive all perils. Survive the storm. Survive the storm. Survive a shipwreck. Survive a shipwreck. Survive a calamity. Survive a calamity. A fight for survival. A fight for survival. A battle for survival. A battle for survival. The survival of the fittest. The survival of the fittest. A survival kit. A survival kit. An instinct for survival. An instinct for survival. Survival capacity. Survival capacity. Threaten survival. Threaten survival. Survivals of medieval customs. Survivals of medieval customs. Be the only survivor. Be the only survivor. A single survivor. A single survivor. The sole survivor of the massacre. The sole survivor of the massacre. The only survivor of the massacre. The only survivor of the massacre. The survivors of the earthquake. The survivors of the earthquake. Vivid memories. Vivid memories. Vivid blue eyes. Vivid blue eyes. A vivid expression. A vivid expression. Vivid coloring. Vivid coloring. A vivid reflection in water. A vivid reflection in water. The vivid green of leaves. The vivid green of leaves. A vivid personality. A vivid personality. Vivid features. Vivid features. A vivid imagination. A vivid imagination. A vivid description of country life. A vivid description of country life. Feel keenly. Feel keenly. Feel vividly. Feel vividly. Recall vividly. Recall vividly. vividly describe, vividly describe, a momentous decision, a momentous decision, a momentous occasion, a momentous occasion, a momentous question to decide, a momentous question to decide, a momentous conference, a momentous conference, matters of great moment, matters of great moment, in leisure moments, in leisure moments, the happiest moment in my life, the happiest moment in my life, arrive at the same moment, arrive at the same moment, to the last moment, to the last moment, in the moment of danger, in the moment of danger, at the last moment, at the last moment, the man of the moment, the man of the moment, the fashion at the moment, the fashion at the moment, the book of the moment, the book of the moment, an affair of great moment, an affair of great moment, be of little moment, be of little moment, the moment of a force, the moment of a force, moment of inertia, moment of inertia, moment of momentum, moment of momentum, have a moment of confusion, have a moment of confusion.